My name is Elizabeth and welcome back to the Hour Read. Today is day 19 of Vlogmas, and yesterday you guys saw all the books that I'm anticipating in 2017, and today I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on what I thought of all of my anticipated 2016 releases. So I first did this video last year, and it was a really great idea that I had to do a video talking about what I thought of all of the books that I was anticipating the year before that. Basically because, you know, some of them I don't get to mention on my weekly wrap-ups, or some of them I never mentioned again after I anticipated them or I hauled them or something, and it kind of just gives you guys a recap of all of the popular 2016 releases that I was excited for. Now that it's the end of the year, what did I think of them? Did I read them? Did I not read them? And it kind of just gives you guys an update on the 2016 releases that I read or didn't read. So I'm going to stop rambling now and just get started with the video. My very first book that I anticipated in 2016 was This Is Where It Ends by Marjorie Nancap. I still cannot say her name, and I feel really bad about that. And the funny thing about this is that I was anticipating this because I wanted to let you guys know that the book was coming out, but I actually read this in 2015, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, and it was a great book about a school shooting that takes place over the course of 53 minutes or something to that effect, and I really enjoyed this book. It had LGBTQ characters and diverse characters, and it was just a great book, and it was very emotional, and if you guys have not read this yet, I highly recommend it. I did read Passenger by Alexandra Bracken and gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I did read The Siren by Kira Cass and gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I was not as happy with this as I usually am with Kira Cass reads, but it was still a great portrayal of non-romantic love, and I really enjoyed the unique take on sirens that Kira Cass portrayed in this novel. I read Stars Above by Marissa Meyer and absolutely loved it and gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was fantastic. I read Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard and gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I was very disappointed with this, seeing as how much I loved what's the first one called? Red Queen, duh. And the main character was just a tad bit annoying, and the things that the characters were doing were just so frustrating. They kept making like dumb decisions, and I was just not happy with the way that the plot was turning out. But I did giving it a 3 out of 5 stars because the ending was amazing. Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman I did not read this year, and I still have the book, or did I donate it? I don't remember what I did with it, but I just had no interest in reading it after it came out. Some people, a lot of people on BookTube in the blogging community, they read it, and not really anybody gave it a fantastic review, and so my interest in it just dwindled and dwindled over time to where I am now, where I have zero interest in reading this Blackbeard retelling. The Girl from Everywhere by Heidi Hillig, I believe I gave 4 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed. First Life by Gina Showalter. I still want to read this, but it's just one of those books that interests me, but it doesn't interest me enough to where I need to read it. And every month that I want to put it on my TBR, just another book takes its place instead. And so if you guys have read First Life by Gina Showalter, let me know in the comments below. Give me an excuse to read this, because it's still on my radar. I still want to read it, but it just hasn't happened yet. Once Upon a Dream by Liz Braswell is the second book in the Twisted Tales series, and the first book I loved, but this one fell flat for me. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, and while I did enjoy it, it just wasn't as amazing as the first book in the series. The Crown by Kira Cass, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. This ending to the Selection series couldn't have been more perfect. I was really excited for Map of Bones this year because I really enjoyed the first book in the series, but once I picked it up, the story and the world just did not interest me at all, and I'm just not sure if like it had suffered from second book syndrome or something, but I couldn't even get through it, so this is a DNF for me. Alight by Scott Siegler is the sequel to Alive, and I really enjoyed Alive. It was a great book, but again, Alight is just one of those books that I just haven't gotten around to, and I'm really bummed about that, and I want to read it eventually. It just hasn't happened in 2016. The Sleeping Prince by Melinda Salisbury, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't as good as the first book in this series, but still really pleased me, and I loved reading it. Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson is the final book in the Remnant Chronicles, and I loved it. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was an excellent finale to this series, and I couldn't have asked for a better book. Heartless by Marissa Meyer, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. It was fabulous. I loved everything about it. It warmed my heart, and the ending was just gut-wrenching, but it was amazing. It like ripped me apart in the best way, and Marissa Meyer pleased me once again with this fabulous book. I highly anticipated Furthermore by Tahara Mafi, but didn't get a chance to get to it this year. Although it still is on my TBR, I still really want to read it. I just hope that I can actually get to it in 2017. Beast by Bree Spangler is a Beauty and the Beast contemporary retelling, and it is, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. This is also about a girl who is transgender and a boy she's fallen in love with, and well, it's actually told from the boy's perspective, so I guess it's about a boy who falls in love with a transgender girl, but, you know, semantics. Anyway, I did enjoy this. It didn't wow me like I wanted it to, which is why I gave it the 3 out of 5 stars, but I think that more has something to do with my disdain for contemporary and not that it was a bad book, because the writing was really well done. I really liked the romance, and I just the contemporary aspect is just not what I enjoyed, unfortunately. I anticipated Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, but again, it was another book that's on my radar. I still really want to read, but I just haven't gotten a chance to do it yet this year. Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake, I read and gave a 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really loved this book. I thought it was a standalone, but it's definitely going to be a series, so I'm excited for the second one to come out next year, hopefully. There were a couple really boring, kind of laggy parts, which is why I gave it a 4 instead of a 5 out of 5 stars, but still a really enjoyable read. A Torch Against the Night by Sabat Tahir, I have not read yet. Whoa, what the heck was that? Oh, it's a notification. Anyway, I really need to read, what's the first book in the series? An Ember in the Ashes again before I read this one, which is kind of why it's been put on the back burner, because I just don't have time at the moment, while the Young Adult Booktube Awards is still going on, but it's definitely on my TBR for 2017. The Bronze Key is the third and final book in the Magisterium series by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, and I have not been able to get to this book yet. The first book was amazing. The second book was suffered from second book syndrome, and I'm kind of like on the fence about reading book 3. I feel like I just need to finish out this trilogy and get it done and over with, but because the second book didn't wow me, I'm skeptical about reading it, but I think I'm going to give it a go in 2017. I read The Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, and a couple other people, I guess, and I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. It had a lot of flack in the booktube community because a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I actually really liked it, and I enjoyed this sequel to the Harry Potter world. The Midnight Star by Marie Lu, I have not had a chance to read yet, but I really, really want to. It's still on my radar. Gemini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff was fabulous. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really, really enjoyed this one. I'm wondering if this is duology or going to be a trilogy. If any of you guys know, let me know in the comments below, because I don't know if there's going to be another one in this book, but I really, really loved it. The characters are amazing. The way that the book is set up in like emails and surveillance and stuff like that is just so cool, and I loved this book. Like, it was amazing. If you guys have not read Illuminate or Gemini, you definitely need to get on it. The Black Key by Amy Ewing is the third and final book in the Lone City series, and I have not read it yet, but it's not my fault. If the book had come from the library, I would have read it already, but it hasn't come yet, and I don't want to buy the third book in a series because then I have to buy the first and the second book. Well, I really hope I get this series for Christmas. I just don't own it, and it hasn't come from the library yet. So if this book had come from the library, it would have been like top of the TBR. I probably would have started reading it that day because I'm just so excited for this book still. But it literally just came out a couple of weeks ago, and I just haven't had the chance to get around to it yet. So obviously, still on my TBR, still really want to read. And last but not least, As Old as Time by Liz Braswell, the third book in the Twisted Tales series. I have it from the library. I want to read it. The only reason why I probably haven't read it at the moment is because I'm so busy with the Young Adult Booktube Awards and reading all of the books that are getting votes in the different categories. So I still do want to read it. I'm going to read it in 2017. I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this update for what I thought of all of my 2016 anticipated releases. I really enjoyed doing this video. Number one, because I don't really see any other booktubers doing it, but I had someone ask me one day, you know, you hauled this book or you talked about this book and then I really wanted to know what you thought of it and then you never talked about it again. So this is kind of like my way of giving you guys my thoughts on books with like that I might have missed throughout the year, or a book that I've hauled or anticipated that I talked about that you guys really wanted to know my thoughts on why I haven't read it and stuff like that. So if you guys, because there's so many books I anticipate every year, I try to get through this video quickly, but if you guys want some more information about why I did or didn't like a book, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely answer all of your questions. If you guys liked or didn't like any of the books that I listed, let me know down in the comments below too. And if you want to watch my most recent video, you can click right there. And if you want to subscribe, you can click right there. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!